This week I attempted to build on last week's project and improve my coding skills using Scratch. I was especially curious to try out some of the more complicated looking command blocks, and most of all, I wanted to see how a game was built. I decided to go with an underwater theme, so first I chose my backdrop. Next I found my sprites, Mr. Krabby, his nemesis, Shark, and of course the prized golden pearl. I created some costumes for my sprites and found some sound effects, and I was ready to begin building my game. First I set up a banner sprite, and I built some code to have it appear and then hide. And I also, after that, added some relaxing underwater sound effects. Mr. Krabby had a costume that allowed me to open and shut his claws, and I also learned how to give him and the pearl some slight movements as if they were bobbing a bit in the water. Here's the code for the two different activities. This is switching costumes, and right here is the bobbing in the water code. My big thrill came when I learned how to program Mr. Krabby so the arrow keys could control his movement. That gave me a little thrill. I could make him go up and down with the arrow keys, side to side, and here's the different instructions that tell you how to do that. Very cool. The code for the pearl was a pretty big one. His goal was to collect 7 pearls, so I programmed them to appear, and then when he touched one, the words "got it" would show up, and there'd be a little noise, a zooping noise. So this was set to repeat until he'd done 7 of them, at which point his friend Starfish would appear and say "yippee" for 2 seconds. There'd be some applause, and then it would stop because the game would be over. Here's his friend Starfish congratulating him. To add some suspense, my underwater world contained a shark who could eat Mr. Krabby if he wasn't too careful. Programming the shark code was pretty challenging too. It was long and had a lot of movement. I was having some fun using some different kinds of code blocks and sensing things. When he was touching the crab, what would happen? He would say, "Yummy dinner," and then he would open and shut his mouth a little bit to look fierce, and then the game would end. I also played around with the sound effects here. I tried to make kind of a Jaws sounding music using the electric bass, notes going back and forth and speeding up a little bit. Poor Mr. Krabby turned green and disappeared when he died. But thankfully, you can always click on the green flag and start over again, trying to catch the pearls. Have fun!